Hey guys, welcome back to another review. I know I have been gone. Of course, y'all already know that if you've watched my previous videos. Moved, graduated from college, got a new job, yada yada. But today, we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about this new figure right here. And what is it? OMG, it is the Mezco comic Spider-Man. This is new for me. I do not own a Mezco figure. I had Mezco Hood's Vapor last year, and I just recently now sold it in December to get some money for a different figure. It was cool, but everything. But this is my first Mezco Marvel figure, and we're here. Yeah, a lot of controversial stuff going on with this figure, and I had it on pre-order. Again, I'm not a Mezco fan. I'm a Mezco hater. I hate Mezco. I'm a Mezco hater until I die. But when this was revealed, I fell in love with the accessories, etc. And I was like, I'm gonna pre-order it. And then it was coming out, and I was seeing some of the issues, and I was like, oh, do I really want to spend my money on this? So I canceled my pre-order. And then I took a trip. I went to comic shop, toy shop, saw this there, saw it was retail, and I folded, obviously, because otherwise there wouldn't be a video for you to watch right now. But anyways, for the box art, we're just gonna do it. There's not a lot here. Well, there is a lot of comic panels. Spider-Man embossed on the front, side, here, back, same image, side, top, bottom. Oh, that's cool. I actually haven't even looked at the bottom like that. It's a cool image. But again, first Mezco figure. I don't know what to expect. I expect a lot of bad because I've heard bad, but I've seen some people do a lot of crazy stuff with this figure. So we'll just go ahead and get right into it. And here we have the new Mezco comic Spider-Man, my first Mezco Spider-Man figure ever. And I gotta say, yeah, it's not so bad. It's not so great. I mean, I don't like Mezco. I hate cloth-suited. I don't hate cloth goods, but I hate cloth-suited bodies because usually it hinders articulation, and I don't want to worry about the maintenance of the fabric tearing over time or flaking if it's like polyester or something, you know, or pleather or whatever. So again, that's why I've kind of avoided this stuff. But I'm a big Spider-Man fan. I love all the accessories this figure comes with. Again, when it was revealed, it came with the all it had, and for 120 bucks, I was like, okay, let's do it. So again, some goods, some bads. Obviously, the biggest thing, look at that head. Look at that head. Look at that big boss baby head right there. This freaking huge. But I don't know. You either love it or you hate it, or you maybe not love it. You either can tolerate it or you absolutely hate it, and you're gonna pass on this figure for it. So, anyways, okay, let's just cut to the chase. There's a lot of accessories. This figure comes with an overwhelming set of a lot of things. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at all of those, and then we'll take a closer look at the figure. There are 9 sets of interchangeable hands with this figure. Yes, 9. Starting off in the package, there's some fisted hands. Then there is some mask grabbing hands, some relaxed hands, wall crawling hands, 2 gestured hands. I think these are for holding the camera and the other device that I can't name. Some web grabbing hands, I assume, I don't know. Splayed out hands, flipping hands, and then 2 more gestured hands, 1 thumbs up and then 1 pointing. And I'm not going to overanalyze every hand on here, but for the most part, the deco on mine is clean. There might be a couple of splotches here and there, but again, that's not too much. I think the plastic on here and the quality of it is great, and the detailing work is cool. A lot of the lines are clean. Sorry, I get my big old meeting hands in here, and then you can see right here. I have them all on the tray right now because it's just easier to keep my work desk organized. So here we go. But again, some pointing stuff, some mean stuff. Again, these 2 gestured hands, I'm not really sure. I think these are for holding something. I think the devices that I don't know. Well, I know one's a camera. The other ones I don't really quite know. Maybe it's the newspaper hand. I don't know. But again, a lot of options, a lot of display options, a lot of playability, fun factors, stuff like here. But yes, a lot of hands here. Next, there are 5 interchangeable heads. There's a standard one that comes on in the package with the squinted eyes. There's that same head, but widened eyes on that one. There is that head with some widened eyes, but it has a light-up feature, which is pretty cool. Then there is an unmasked Peter Parker head, as well as a half-masked, half-unmasked Peter Parker head. And I think for the most part, these heads are really good. My favorite is this one. This is the one that I have displayed up. But you can see there's some paint imperfections on here, especially around the lenses. Most notably on, oh wait, no, this is the one that's my favorite right here. This is the light up one right here, which again, there's a switch right there whenever you put the batteries in there. And yeah, this whole lens on this side is just painted off. You can see right there, the black line paint just on the lens didn't line up perfectly. And that's a shame because it is a really cool head sculpt. I like the idea of having the light up eyes. It's not functional, or it's not the most practical thing ever, but it's still really cool. So, and then yes, you have your standard one, which again, like the paint and details on here, for the most part are clean. I don't see some like, oh, you see right there, I'm missing right there. I've had this figure for like a day and a half. I haven't really got the most chance to explore every little thing on it. I don't know what that's on the figure right there, but oh, see, got a paint splotch right there. God damn it. Okay, that's just Mezco QC, man. Freaking, they hit or miss, and most of the time they miss, and oh well, it's Spider-Man. But here is the unmasked Peter Parker head, and again, I think that looks really good. And then of course the glasses, look at those bubbly eyes thing. You just go ahead and put these on here, and now he just looks like a, oh, I don't even have it on there lined. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. There you go. They arrested. Oh, they arrested. God, he just looks like a. He just. This is the epitome of a nerd. You see the ring lights right there. Oh, and then what is that? Is that something? Oh, okay. That's just me being dirty. And then of course here's the half-masked one, and the glasses are not removable on here. But I think this one is really cool. And again, you pair it up with the spider sense effect that it comes with, and man, it just looks really cool. And I like that gritting teeth right there versus like the neutral stuff right here. So like I said, it's really cool. The paint, there is some paint imperfection on here because it's Mezco QC, but for the most part I am really happy with all these heads. But my favorite is of course the normal kind of wide nine, it's not squinted one, but this is the one I'm gonna have on display because yeah, chef's kiss. Yeah, I mean, just like look at that. That's, oh, if it'll focus, oh, see, Banner, Gamma, Experiment, Crow Sage, like the Visions right there. There's all kinds of stuff, Spider-Man stuff. And again, all of these are really cool, and even the details on the mask, you can see all the wrinkles and stuff right there. No paint on the back, but that's okay because when you're gonna see that. And then yeah, again, really cool stuff. Again, I don't know what this device is, but again, tell me. And then the camera looks really cool too. Being that I am a photographer, that is what I am hired to do. I should be more educated because I wouldn't be able to tell you what kind of camera this is, but you know, it's still really cool. And then yes, the spider bots, again, they look really cool. You can see the detail. Hopefully it's coming up well in here. I don't know how it's going to be once I start editing, but again, a lot of fun stuff, a lot of cool things. It's awesome. Next, we have not two display stands. We have one display stand that of course comes with a Mezco. It's a normal Mezco stand. I again don't collect Mezco, so I'm not so familiar with the stands, but if you know, you have the Amazing Spider-Man here, the port right here, you can put the foot in, or you can take that out and plug the stand into right here. But then you have this mat here, which at first I thought was another base, and then when it was first revealed, I thought it was like there was a light up feature with the figure where you can light it up, and this is like the spider signal, which again, I think this is what it's supposed to represent, like the spider signal on his belt, even though the figure doesn't have a belt. But one thing that I found that is really cool about it is you can go ahead and attach this to glass. So if you have a glass display at DTOF or something, you can have this thrown up in the DTOF, and again, it's like the spider signal, the spider emblem that you could have in there, and just like a cool little decorative thing that they didn't have to include, but it's nice. And then the material on here is, again, it's flexible. I don't know what this is, rubber maybe. This back of it is gloss, and then you have all this varnish, not varnish, I don't even know what the hell I'm saying right now, but again, this placemat is really cool. And then of course with the stand here is the clamp for the spider, I keep wanting to say Spider-Verse effect, the spider sense effect. You just plug this here, and then you would attach this onto the clamp in some fashion, and then boom, when you have your figure here, you can articulate this. I know you can't see it, oh, I just popped it off, but you trigger like that. Again, I'll just have pictures and showing you how it works, stuff like that. And again, it looks really cool. It makes some cool like display options. It's not the most ideal thing because it only works if you have the figure like on the stand. If there was a way to have the spider sense effect attached to the figure without having to rely on the stand, that would have been cool. So, but I don't know how they would have done that, minus having like another clamp, a smaller clamp. Like if you had this clamp attached to the back of the figure, so which again, in some areas, I mean, you can hide it with angles, but it would look a little goofy. But yeah, anyways, really cool stuff. Finally, for the accessories, we have the web effects that this figure comes with. There is one long web slipping effect. There is one short web flipping effect, which I think this figure should have came with two. I don't know, it only came with one. There is one longer web with a ring on the end that I assume you just put it around a figure's waist. So that's really cool. You can have it look like Spider-Man is like yanking some people. There is the web face cover thingy, just the web shot for the face. There is a web shield, and then a web backpack, so that's really cool, and it hasn't broken on mine yet, unlike my Mafex one that broke with my Symbiote Spidey. And then there is a long bendy wire web, and that accessory is of course the parachute, the glider, the Fortnite glider, I don't know what you want to call it, but again, this is cool. The paint and detail on here is the same as all the other web accessories, and again, the stuff just hooks on right here on the end right there. There's some little ports. You just stick that through and you just hook them on. So it's really easy to assemble. Be careful though, because you don't want to break this. There is some flex to it, but still you don't want it to snap while you want to break your figure. But again, I never had the desire to have this particular accessory with the Spider-Man release ever, but they included it, and it's cool, and it's fun, and it's different, and it's quirky. And I personally, again, it's just the reason why I bought this figure was the main driving point was the accessories. They're different, they're fun, and it's something that not every Spider-Man figure from every other company has, so it stands out and it's unique. And for the most part, like I said, I'm really happy with a lot of these accessories, especially like this one. Like, this is cool, and you can have it just like, maybe it's not a parachute, maybe it's a swing. You go rock back and forth, and we have Spider-Man sitting here, or it's a hammock, and he's like taking a nap. I don't fucking know. I'm just trying to have some fucking fun with it, you know. But yeah, anyway, so a lot of accessories. The web stuff is cool. Should have had more thwipping ones, I think, in my opinion, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. It looks a little grainy now. I killed the lights in here, but I did just want to show y'all the light up eyes right here, like in real time. So again, you do have this tool that you can turn the lights on right here. And once you have the batteries installed, boom. So it lights up like that. And again, it's not the best in the world because you're getting a lot of that light reflecting up here. I know my camera is not freaking doing the best right now to show it just because there's such low light. Maybe we'll see what happens when I turn the light on. Well, you can get a little bit. It's focusing a little bit. But again, light up eyes, cool. Not necessary. I think it would lend for some cool photography. Like, you know how you see like Batman, like in like the dark alleyway and you see his eyes luminescing. Like, if you could recreate images like that but with Spider-Man and this head sculpt, I think it'd be really cool. Finally, after getting through all of that, we could take a look at the shining star here. So of course here we have the Mezco Spider-Man here, and okay, there's gonna be like a lot to say but not really to say. The first thing I want to point out, of course, yes, I've already acknowledged it, the bobblehead. He has a big head. Some people are kind of getting away with that by thinking this is a younger Spider-Man. It's on a smaller build. It's not the most muscular Spider-Man. He's pretty small, so you know what, teenagers and just young kids have big heads. So I don't know, like I said, I would have preferred a smaller head. For me, it's just one of those, like, you just kind of deal with it and you kind of get over it type of things. Like, again, it's not perfect. I wish it was smaller, but at this point, I knew before buying it that it had a big head. But, okay, just get into the detail of, like, the fabric and the suit. Again, I have no experience with, like, cloth bodies like this. So, in terms of, like, talking about, like, do I think the material is going to adhere? Will it last over time? Am I worried that it's going to fade? I can already see some, if it'll focus, I can already see, like, again, there's some creasing right there from having the arm up so far. So, it's kind of a big deal. Gosh, my focus just won't focus this time. I would say the blue feels really nice. That's spandex, that's stretchy. I don't think any of this will tear at all. Now, for the red parts of the suit, I am kind of worried about it cracking over time and flaking. Again, I've only had this open for like a day, and I just was posing it last night and playing with it, and I can already see some creases up in here, if y'all can kind of see those lines right there. So again, it's not perfect, but again, I don't know. Oh, spider weenie right there. Spider. It's a big bulge, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's cool. Like, I'm happy to have it. Well, okay, I'm not gonna say I'm happy to have it. Let's just save that for the end. It's just a cool Spider-Man have. For me, it's like, I made this analogy with my friends, like, it's like I'm collecting Infinity Stones with Spider-Man figures because I own SH Figuarts, I own Mafex, I own Marvel Legends, I own Hot Toys. Now I own a Mezco Spider-Man, and I still need a Revoltech comic Spider-Man, so maybe that's the 6th Infinity Stone of figures that I need to have the Spider-Verse Spider-Man action figures, stuff like that. I don't know. But again, it's cool. I mean, I don't have any, like, just, like, discrete, that's the wrong word. I don't have any, like, I don't know. It looks cool. There's seam lines on the back. Of course, there's going to be seam lines. I'm not going to cry about that. And then in the leg here, God, my camera won't focus. Hold on, guys. Hey, sorry about that, guys. I'm just trying to make sure that this just stays in focus for y'all, which it might not. But anyways, like, there isn't a lot to look at here. It looks like a guy in pajamas. And for the most part, that's kind of what it is. It's just a figure of that. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the body underneath, like, could it have been more muscular? I just think if the head was smaller, it would look a lot better. It wouldn't look so small, because it is a small buck underneath there. It's not the most, what's the word? Muscular body out there for Spider-Man. But again, it could be like a young Spider-Man, a new Spider-Man. That's what people were telling themselves in their head. So, yeah, at first, it did kind of bother me. that the red lines right here didn't go across the pecs. When this was first, like the in-hand pictures came out, that really bothered the hell out of me. Now that I have it in person, it doesn't. I don't know why. I figured it, there's no butterfly joints in here, but my thought had been like, oh, if there's butterfly joints here, maybe they were like worried about it like bunching up and potentially damaging the figure. But it's not even, there's no butterfly joints anyway, so it doesn't matter anyway. Now you can see another issue here is this is bunching up here. Well, issue is subjective. This does bunch up when you raise the arms up. This is like a little peek into the articulation segment. And this could damage over time, but if it bunches up, it means that it's going to articulate. So that's really cool. There's only like a few slight issues with articulation that I have. And then in case you didn't know as well, down here, once you get to like to the wrist, especially like here on the wrist down here, and then with the ankles down here, it goes to from fabric to hard sculpted plastic. So over here it's fabric, and then sculpted plastic right there for the wrist. So that's cool. You don't have to worry about like plastic sticking out over the end, and maybe they couldn't even do that anyway in a perfect way. But yeah, so again, it's simple. It's not the most. It's functional a little bit. We'll get into functionality a little bit. But yeah, I mean, it just looks like a classic comic book Spider-Man, like a year one Spider-Man. That's what it looks like. And if you love that, and you know, if you have a love for that, you know how Mezco goes, then you're gonna love it. If not, and you're new to this like I am, you're going to have to kind of get used to it, which I'm trying to. But with all that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the articulation of the figure. Now, is this the most articulated Spider-Man ever? No, nothing's going to beat the Revoltech. Let's just get that out of the way. Is it a functional Spider-Man? Yes. Is it perfect? No. So let's get into it. So the head, ball joint at the head and neck, and it can look up about that much, so that's really cool. I would be careful about articulating this because, so I bought this at a comic store, or I bought this at a local toy shop. I had opened up my copy and I had some like peeling around the neck, so I was able to get an exchange for a better copy. So shout out to Doc's Unique Collectibles in El Paso, Texas. They're really cool, awesome, can't wait. If you're ever in El Paso, Texas, you want to meet some cool people and have some cool, buy some cool collectibles, check out Doc's Unique Collectibles in El Paso, Texas. But anyways, I was able to switch it out. And so I assume that tearing can come from the neck movement. But again, it's kind of hindered as well. Like a lot of that tilt right there is coming from the top. It's not really coming from the bottom. So again, the fabric goes underneath there. So just kind of be careful over time if you're articulating this, that you don't also kind of like tear that fabric. But maybe that's just another caution you need to have. But some really cool tilt right there. So again, earlier from the shoulders, they go up about that high. Again, that material's bunching, but I mean, naturally, a cloth suit is gonna bunch like that. So it's not really something to complain about. But again, I don't know. I'm not an enthusiast, or what's the word? I'm not an expert when it comes to like cloth material stuff, especially on Spider-Man figures. But the arms go up about that far, so that's cool. They go back. So you can get a whole rotation if you want to. It doesn't look right because anatomically speaking, I guess it doesn't really work like that. Anyways, bicep swivel is in there. Double jointed ease. For some, double jointed elbows. Jesus Christ. For some reason, there was a big rumor this figure was going to be single jointed at the elbows and knees just because of like early in-hand pictures. People weren't posing it with that, but nope. For if you were worried about it, there's some double jointed elbows in there. There is no rotation at the wrist or at the like guard right here, and then it's a hinge swivel, of course, for the wrist. Now for the torso, this is going to be a make or break for a lot of people. I'm gonna get the arms back here. So the crunch forward, there's something at the top and there's something at the bottom. There's a ball joint at the waist and probably another ball joint here at the upper diaphragm, but it only crunches, I say only, it crunches about that far. So it kind of looks like he's got a gut because the material's bunching up. But again, the material's bunching up because there's some excess material right there, but it's allowing it to articulate. I'm sure if it was like super tight to the body, you wouldn't be able to articulate it at all. But again, make or break for some people. If you love articulation like I do, I prefer to buy my figures for articulation, not for aesthetic. Most of the time I prefer articulation over aesthetic. So like people like the aesthetic of like cloth bodies, I say fuck that, give me a sculpt with double jointed knees and everything and pins, and if it can articulate and hit poses, then that's what's awesome. With all that being said, sorry I'm talking really fast. Again, make or break for Spider-Man. For me, I knew what this figure had to offer before I bought it. I bought it anyway because I just wanted to satisfy the itch. But it can go back about, not really far at all, I'd say. Oh, there we go. Yeah, never mind. It's going back, breaking his back right there. So there you go. In terms of, see, that's just really tight up there. The bottom one's pretty good, but the top one's tight. But in terms of some like diaphragm, tilt, you're gonna get about like that. Oh, there we go. See, I just felt it knock down. So that top joint is really tight, and I think the fabric, it may be preventing it from moving. So yeah, there we go. I think that's coming from the bottom. I think all this tilt is coming from the bottom, not even from the top. But you can crunch it down like that if you were to turn something like that. Again, this material is bunching up. Now, again, it's bunching up again, like I've said, so you can move it. Again, if it was really tight, you wouldn't be able to move it. So I guess just kind of like glass half full, like the fabric is bunching up, you're getting that movement. It's not the most movement, but you know it's there. So swivel down right here. Hips can go all the way out right here. Can you do the splits? Kind of, yeah. Basically, kind of do the splits. So that's really cool. Again, I have no fear of this stitching tearing at all. Again, there's a lot of excess fabric here, so that's really cool. There is I don't know, so I can see that the hip connects right there. There's two pieces right here, but the rotation is coming from the hip. So it's like rotating on the hip there on the ball joint. It's not really rotating from like there's a joint. Oh, there it is. Wait. Okay, so they're both moving. Okay, so you get to a point where it stops at the ball, and then you turn it, and now the hip is turning. So, or the thigh is turning. So that's cool, I suppose. One side is tighter than the other, so just kind of be careful because it will be kind of hard to see when you get there. So, but the figure can kick all the way up. Mine kind of flexes down a little bit. I don't know if that's just because of the material or because of it's loose. Maybe let's check this side. Oh, see, so I think that's just a QC on that side. This one kicks up about that far and doesn't want to flex back down. This one does for some reason. Again, I don't know if that's the ball joint or what. But double jointed knees right here, so that's really cool. Love that. Again, I don't feel like this is going to tear at all. I love the material of the blue right here. It's really cool. Nothing at the calf, no calf swivel or calf rotation at all. And then this is one of the bigger, the two big, this is the biggest complaint of this figure is the goddamn ankle articulation. So he can move up about that far, right? And then he can move down. It's just a ball joint. It's just I think it's a dumbbell joint. I'm not sure. And they articulate down here. And then there's some slight rotation or ankle pivot. Not a whole lot, and there's no fucking toe articulation. Sorry, but there's no toe articulation. Why the hell will there not be toe articulation? I don't understand why you have this picture on the box that shows the toes crunching for this one specific pose that is on the box, but the figure can't even hit that pose because the toes don't articulate. So I don't understand what the thought process was behind that. You got 9 interchangeable hands, glasses, newspaper stuff, but you can't get toe articulation. Like, that is really stupid, and that's dumb of Mezco to have not included that. I don't know the thought process as to why, but that's just kind of how it goes. But I mean, at the end of the day, it sucks. Like, it sucks. I'm not gonna say it's like the biggest deal breaker, but you can get your figure and you can pose it and stuff like that. Again, I'm just kind of messing with it right now just to kind of show you all that range. Again, I really like the hips. The hips can get up super far, but these ankles are limited. I've thought about kind of popping this off and kind of hollowing around the bottom here to just kind of give it some extra space to see that, but I don't want to hollow it too far to where the ball joint is then now smaller, or just I make the socket too big and then doesn't hold the ball joint. But I mean, you get the Spider-Man crunch down and touching his toes. Like, again, I think that's cool. If you had a deal breaker with articulation, then yeah, the biggest thing is the ankles, but there is some functionality here. Again, it's not perfect, not the most posable Spider-Man ever, but again, it satisfies a couple of itches that I would have in wanting to pose a Spider-Man figure. Starting off on some size comparisons now, we have the Mafex 185 and Mafex Ben Reilly Spider-Man. So again, this Mezco one is a lot smaller, and yeah, I mean, you could fudge it. Again, it's a younger Spider-Man who's like trying to just learn stuff. Unfortunately, I am away from my Marvel Legends, so in terms of other Spider-Man villains and characters, I do not have access to those in a size comparison, so don't expect to see a bunch of those. But starting off for size comparisons, yeah, we have Mafex Ben Reilly and Mafex 185. Now for some villains I do have access to, here is the Mafex Venom and the Mafex Carnage. And it's funny enough because the Mafex Venom usually gets complained about for being too small compared to Spider-Man and like the Mafex line, but going against the Mezco Spider-Man, Spider-Man, I think it actually size works, like, I think the size works pretty good because Venom is bulky and buff and he's bigger than Spider-Man. Carnage is a little too tall in this case, but I think they work if you wanted to fudge this Mezco Spider-Man in with some Mafex villains. Next, we have him here with some of my recent pickups. We have the Figma Yuji and the SH Figuart Sukuna, which again, SHF is true, like 6-inch scale, like form, 1/12 scale figure, whatever. So again, you can see how your Mezco Spider-Man would go toe-to-toe with some other 6-inch scale figures you might potentially have in the SH Figuarts line. And here we have him just for the hell of it with Jada Toys Chester Cheetah and another cloth-bodied figure, cloth-suited figure that I have, which is I think this is the Felix Toys, or no, Patriot Studio. No, what am I thinking? Felix Toys? No, Patriot Studio. I think this is Patriot Studio Joker. I don't know, Patriot Studio or Felix Toys, one of those two. This is the Joaquin Phoenix Joker that I got last year. Again, it's another suited body, and that's third party. So again, you just kind of see how well your Spider-Man is going to fit in with other 6-inch scale figures. And for a final size comparison and a future tease for a future review, here we have the newly released Mafex Mando 3.0, 2.0, I don't know, the newest Mafex Mandalorian figure that came out. Season 3 Mando, I guess what you want to call it. But yep, there you go for that. Okay. With all of that said and done, we've gone through everything, we've talked about a lot. It's been a journey to finally get to this point, the end of the review, my final thoughts, because my word is the end all be all. Of course it's not, it's just a joke, don't get upset. This figure is fun. That's really all I can say. Like, that's my general thing. Like, it's fun. Is it the best Spider-Man 6-inch Spider-Man figure out there? No. Is it the best Mezco Spider-Man figure out there? I don't know. I heard 2099 was amazing, and some people like Suit the Symbiote, and I don't have the 1.0 version of this figure, so I'm not too sure on what is the best out there or what is the worst, etc. But I will just have to say, like, this figure is fun, and as someone who has been an avid Mezco hater but a big Spider-Man fan, I have fun. It's not perfect. The head is big. The biggest complaint about this figure and the biggest gripe, no toe articulation. Why is there no toe articulation? I don't understand. I don't know why Mezco wouldn't do that. That's really stupid on there, especially with all the accessories you get, which again, the accessories, that is the selling part for me. That is why I bought this figure, not because of the aesthetic, not because it's a classic Spider-Man, not because of the fabric body, and not because I love Mezco, but because of the accessories. There's a lot of different things here. There's a big, unique variety, and I enjoy that. It's so fun. And again, these accessories, maybe you can throw it on some Mafex figures or some Marvel Legends. That's great. But this figure, I think, is cool. It's gonna satisfy a specific audience. Again, if you love Mezco, I don't know what the die-hard Mezco fans are saying about this figure. I don't know if they think it's good. I don't know if they think it's bad. I don't know if they think it's okay or what could have been done. I just know as a collector and as a Spider-Man fan, it's not perfect. I think I would have liked to seen some butterfly joints on here. I don't know why there isn't. The head is big. Toe articulation, the fact that there's none is absolutely horrendous, but I do enjoy it. I think it's fun. I think if you're a die-hard Spider-Man fan like me, it wouldn't hurt to pick it up. If you just have some money lying around, there's nothing coming out, there's like slow releases, you're waiting for some new Mafex or some Marvel Legends or some new Hot Toys to come out, and you're just like, I just want to buy something. You're a big Spider-Man fan? Buy this figure. It's basically what happened to me. It was there, the opportunity was there, and I took it. Like I said, I love all the accessories. The web stuff is cool. Well, I think there's some areas where it's lacking. I think there should have been some more flipping effects. I think it is cool with the shield and the paragliding effect. Like, that's really cool. And then even the web that goes around, like, the waist, like, that's really cool. And I've always loved, like, the web shots. I know with, like, the head, I know Marvel Legends did one with that a couple years ago. I think it was in I don't remember which wave it was in, but that's really cool effect. And then all the heads are cool. You get some different eras. The Peter Parker stuff, the Spider-Bots. Again, I'm not going to use everything, but I think it's really cool. And for being like my first Mezco Spider-Man figure, like, I'm really happy. Am I worried about the fabrics over time? I am worried about the spider pattern part, the cobwebbing. I don't know if that's going to tear. I don't know if having it in a pose like this for so long is going to really do some damage. I know there's already been some creasing on it, so I'm not too sure. Aesthetic with the fabric bunching up, is that a worry? For me, it doesn't bother me too much. For a Mezco diehard fan, it might. I'm not really sure. The blue fabric part, I have no worries at all. The stitching is going to tear, or anything beyond that. The really thing that's like, again, that's just like really inconsistent about it is the QC. But again, every figure line has QC, so I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm going to rate it probably a solid 7.5 out of 10. I think it's a cool Spider-Man figure. There's a lot of uniqueness to it, and it's definitely going to stand out in your collection if you have a bunch of Spider-Man figures. Again, I'm actually really happy. I don't regret buying this figure. It hasn't broken on me, hopefully. We'll see if the fabric holds throughout time. If it doesn't, well, hopefully it lasts a couple of years, because I would hate to have spent $120 on this figure and then it freaking tears after like a month. So that'd be annoying, but really cool stuff. Yeah, I know. It's just fun. Like I said, it's just a fun figure. It's something different. I think that's, again, what excited me the most. Was it was a different Spider-Man figure that offered different options beyond just wall crawling hands, some web effects, and an unmasked head sculpt. Like, again, the camera, the freaking lens straps, like being able to change, the glasses, the light up eyes while not functional to the best of the ability, and mine has QC issues, still really cool. Again, the different webs of the shield, the glider, all that stuff like that. It's really cool, and it kind of hooked me. I'm thinking I want to buy the Mezco Green Goblin, because I think these two would complement, or those two, Goblin and Spider-Man, I think they'd complement each other really well. I've been watching some reviews, and I might have that Mezco book right now for at least the Spider-Man stuff. I know I've seen Morbius. I've heard Morbius is amazing. Maybe I'll backtrack and get Morbius as well. I've heard Morbius is the best one so far. Between Morbius, Spider-Man, and Goblin, that's the best one from so far I've heard. And I think Doc Ock is the next release. So fuck, we'll see. But I don't know if I'm on the Mezco. I know the Mezco Fantastic Four stuff is out with the 4 set, and then Doom. I've heard those are amazing. Fuck, will I buy those? Oh, that's $500. I don't know. But anyways, like I said, this one definitely hooked me enough to at least have some interest in getting Green Goblin. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that'll be a future review. Who knows? But if y'all want a review of that, if I get that figure, let me know down below. But okay, with all that, let's get to it. Let's get to the end. Thank you guys so much for watching the review. Again, I am back, sort of, kind of. I'm getting into the swing of things. I've settled into my new city, my new job, and I'm trying to build a schedule and get more active on YouTube and Instagram. I've bought a lot of figures, and it's February. You know, I've bought a lot of figures this year, so a lot of new reviews coming to the channel. Keep an eye out for those. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I do post review, whether it's once a week or once every like 2-3 months. You know, you never want to miss out on that. Let me know what y'all think about this figure down below in the comments. Are you a big Mezco fan? Do you like cloth bodies? Do you like this figure? Is it worse? What would you have changed? What would you not have changed? What would you want to add? I don't know. Just let me know what y'all think about this figure, whether you love it, hate it. I got a phone call. I don't know what the last thing I said was. Shit. Well, anyways, gotta put the phone on Do Not Disturb from now on, I guess, when I do a review. Anyways, okay, again, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about the figure down below, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I post in the future. So thanks for watching. Thanks for seeing. That was a long review. Sorry about that. But yeah, I gotta go through everything. You know, Mezco, there's so much shit in here. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.